Hey everybody, today I'm going to review Quentin Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino is one of the most famous directors in film history that was known for making movies that are so graphic and violent. Quentin Tarantino is best known for his crime films like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown, his action martial arts film, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, his exploitation horror film, Grindhouse, Death Proof, his World War II film, Inglourious Basterds, and his two Western films, Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight. As a matter of fact, all of Quentin Tarantino's films are rated R, so I became very interested in seeing his next film about Hollywood and filmmaking. This is actually Quentin Tarantino's first film not to be associated with that evil monster Harvey Weinstein, after Tarantino has ended his working relationship with Weinstein following the allegation against that sick bastard. I saw it and I think this movie is great. One of the funniest and brutal films I had ever seen, and I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed this movie without any spoilers. The story of this film took place in Hollywood, Los Angeles during the 1960s. It centers around an actor named Rick Dalton, who was a TV actor that was known for TV westerns, and has a best friend and longtime stunt double, Cliff Booth, as well as living next door to Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate. Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth are going on a misadventure in Hollywood to achieve fame and success in the film industry during the final years of Hollywood's golden age in 1969 Los Angeles. The story also involves the evil Manson family and some of the famous actors who we might be familiar with. I find the story of this film to be very good. Plus, this is a great love letter to the 60s LA filmmaking and the golden age of Hollywood. Although there are a few moments that are silly and did drag on, there are a lot of funny moments and some unexpected moments that will make you surprised. There's even some of the parts in this film where the filmmakers are making a movie that makes me feel like I'm actually watching an actual film. Now that's how you call filmmaking. Much like Inglourious Basterds, this is a fictional story with some real life people. The special effects in this film are very unique and stylized. I can tell that there are some CGI and practical effects that are used in this film. The designs of the cars, the buildings, the costumes, the film camera, the houses, and the makeups are all very creative, and it definitely fits the mood on the time during the 1960s. The violence in this film is so graphic and brutal to watch. But what do you expect? All of Quentin Tarantino's films have the same violence anyway. Now for the acting, directing, and music. Let's start with Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo Dicaprio. I think he did a wonderful job playing that actor who is known for appearing in the Western TV series. His attempt to transition to film did not meet his expectation, which is why he has been struggling, smoking, and drinking alcohol. It is wonderful to see Leonardo DiCaprio coming back to appear in another movie after he finally won an Oscar for his performance in The Revenant. This is actually the second time that Leonardo DiCaprio is in a Quentin Tarantino movie, since he did work with Tarantino on Django Unchained. Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, is Rick Dalton's longtime stunt double and best friend that is pretty much a tough guy that is good at using his own stunts. Plus he can be funny at the same time. It is very awesome to see that Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are finally doing a movie together, and this is also the second time that Brad Pitt appeared in a Tarantino movie since they worked together on Inglourious Basterds. Then there's Sharon Tate, played by Margaret Robbie, is an actress that lives next door to Rick Dalton and also the wife of Roman Polanski. I felt that Sharon Tate in this film is very different than Sharon Tate in real life. Of course, as we all know, that the real Sharon Tate and her friends were killed by the Manson family. This is the second time that Margaret Robbie and Leonardo DiCaprio appeared in a movie together since they had worked together on The Wolf of Wall Street. Also appearing in this film is Jay Sebring, played by Emile Hirsch, James Stacy, played by Timothy Olyphant, who has been in movies like Scream 2, Gone in 60 Seconds, The Girl Next Door, Live Free or Die Hard, and Rango. Pussycat, played by Margaret Qualley, Tex Winston, played by Austin Butler, Squeaky, played by Dakota Fanning, Randy, played by Kurt Russell, George Spahn, played by Bruce Dern, who was from The Cowboys, Family Plot, Coming Home, Black Sunday, Small Soldiers, Monster, and Nebraska. Bruce Lee, played by Mike Moe. Wayne Maunder, played by Luke Perry, who was from The Fifth Element and the TV show Riverdale. And Marvin, played by Al Pacino, who is of course best known for appearing in movies like The Godfather Trilogy, Scarface, Dick Tracy, Scent of the Woman, Carlito's Way, Heat, The Devil's Advocate, and Insomnia. James Stacy is one of the most famous actors during the 60s. J.C. Bring was a Hollywood hairstylist and one of Sharon Tate's friends. Pussycat, Tex Winston, and Squeaky are one of the members of the evil Manson family. Randy is a stunt coordinator who only appeared in this film for a short time. Kurt Russell is also the narrator of this film. This is the third time Kurt Russell worked with Tarantino since Death Proof and The Hateful Eight. George Spahn was a 80-year-old man who rented his ranch out for Western and has been living with the Manson family. Fun fact that Bruce Dern is the father of Laura Dern. Another fun fact is that originally Burt Reynolds was hired to play that old man, but unfortunately Burt Reynolds passed away before they started filming. That's why Bruce Dern took over that role, since he did work with Tarantino on both Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight. Bruce Lee, of course, is the legendary martial artist. However, although he did kind of look like Bruce Lee, I felt that his portrayal as Bruce Lee is not as excellent as Jason Scott Lee, who plays Bruce Lee in Dragon the Bruce Lee Story. Wayne Maunder was a Canadian-born American actor who started in 3 American TV series between 1967 and 1974. Marvin is a Hollywood producer and Rick Dalton's his agent. Quentin Tarantino did an incredible job directing this movie, especially he made this movie more graphic and a work of art. The music of this film definitely feels like we are in the 1960s. Overall, this is a great movie that took place in the 1960s Hollywood. It is one of the most art-style films I had ever seen. While it may not be as a wonderful work of art type of film like 2001: A Space Odyssey or La La Land, it definitely does feel like an experimental film with a few exploitation reference. Along with Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained, Inglourious Basterds, The Hateful Eight, Kill Bill, and Reservoir Dogs, this is one of the best films directed by Quentin Tarantino. But sadly, that this is Luke Perry's last movie, because he died from a massive stroke. He was only 52 years old. Anyway, if you're a fan of Hollywood and Quentin Tarantino, go give it a watch. However, I do not recommend this for kids because it's too violent, had too much bad words, smoking, drinking, and adult content. So I give this movie 4 out of 5 nuclear bombs.